Dear friend, everyone loves eating out, but with the rising prices at restaurants, we have all had to cut back. Wouldn't it be nice to save money by making your favorite restaurant dishes at home instead? Well, now you can with America's Restaurant Recipes. In this 2-volume cookbook, you'll discover the secret recipes for your family's favorite restaurant dishes. As seen on Fox News, Good Morning America, Home Shopping Network, ABC, NBC, People Magazine, and more. New York Times best-selling author Ron Douglas reveals the jealously guarded secret restaurant recipes that have been kept away from the public for years. With these easy-to-follow recipes, you are sure to wow your family and friends with meals that taste just like the Olive Garden, the Cheesecake Factory, Outback Steakhouse, P.F. Chang's, Red Lobster, KFC, and many more. Skip those long lines and enjoy these delicious dishes in your own kitchen. Now, for a limited time only, when you order America's Restaurant Recipes Volume 1, you'll get the Volume 2 cookbook for free. Act now to secure this buy one, get one special offer. Order now and spice up dinner time in your home.
Let's get started. I love to cook, but I also enjoy going out to eat, because it is nice to have a break from the kitchen every now and then. Another reason I like to go out to eat is because I get some good ideas for recipes, or how I can tweak the recipes I already have to taste better. So I am going to share with you an experience I had and some things to look for while you are there. The restaurant I am going to share is Olive Garden. My husband and I visited Olive Garden 2 weeks ago and had a very good time once we got to our table. It was a Sunday afternoon, so of course it was busy. We went to the hostess station and waited for one of the 3 hostesses to acknowledge our presence. We stood there for at least a minute before the head hostess elbowed the person that was supposed to get our name and number in our party. He was very friendly once he realized we were standing there, but he was just a little too involved in what he was doing, since he neglected one of his most important responsibilities, which is to greet the customers. We were told that it would be about a 20-minute wait, which was fine with us. However, the entire time we waited, the head hostess never smiled. She was able to get her job done, but didn't look like she wanted to be there. This made the waiting process less enjoyable, because the atmosphere didn't give off a friendly vibe. Once the hostess seated up, our waitress introduced herself and offered us a sample of wine, which we both declined because we aren't wine drinkers. She also pointed out the waiter that was working in the same area if we needed something and she wasn't around. I found this to be very nice, since I know waiters and waitresses can get very busy. Once we made our selections, I ordered the cheese-stuffed rigatoni and chicken with minestrone soup, and my husband ordered the cheese-stuffed rigatoni and sausage with the zuppa toscana soup and breadsticks. Our soup and breadsticks came very quickly. We were offered Parmesan cheese for our soup and they were both very good. I liked that they were an eatable temperature. Some places you go have the soup so hot, you have to wait 10 minutes before you can eat it. Once we finished, our waitress asked if we would like more soup or breadsticks. We declined because we wanted to enjoy our main course. When our food came, it looked and smelled wonderful, and tasted just as good. Our waitress checked on us a couple of times throughout our meal and kept our drinks full. Once we ate all we could, our waitress put our leftovers into to-go containers and gave us our bill. It was a wonderful and tasty experience. While I was eating my cheese-stuffed rigatoni and chicken, it occurred to me that this would be pretty simple to make. All I would have to do is cook the rigatoni and stuff it with an Italian blend cheese. Then I would grill some chicken and slice it up. And toss everything together with a garlic Alfredo sauce. Then all I would have to do is bake it for a while to let the cheese melt. Of course it won't taste just like Olive Garden's, but it should be pretty good. So last week I decided to give it a try. The first thing I did was grill some boneless skinless chicken breasts so I could have that out of the way. Once they were done grilling, I set them aside so they could cool. Then I boiled some water for my rigatoni, and once the water was boiling I added the pasta and cooked it according to the package directions. Once they were done cooking I drained the water and poured the pasta out to wax paper. I used Italian cheese blend to stuff my pasta. This was a pretty long process, but once I was done, I put all the stuffed pasta in a greased 9 by 13 inch baking dish. Then I cut up the grilled chicken and placed it in the dish. My next step was to add the Alfredo sauce, and to make it easy I bought the refrigerated Alfredo sauce, or if you prefer you can get the Alfredo that comes in a jar. I poured the Alfredo over the pasta and chicken and put it in the oven at 350 degrees and then checked it after the first 10 minutes to see if the cheese had melted, and it hadn't, so I let it cook 10 minutes longer. The cheese had melted by this time, so I took it out of the oven and let it set for 5 minutes. While it was cooling, I diced up some tomatoes to use as a garnish. I then tossed the pasta, chicken and Alfredo. Dished it out and sprinkled the diced tomatoes and Parmesan cheese on the top. It didn't taste like what I got at Olive Garden, but it was still really good. So as you can see, it is really easy to mimic a restaurant's menu items, but sometimes it takes trial and error, so don't get disappointed if it doesn't turn out the first time, just make a few corrections and try it again. The cheese-stuffed rigatoni and chicken was a relatively easy recipe to mimic, but you will come across some that are next to impossible. Some restaurants have secret sauces or spices, so it will take many tries to get the taste similar, but you may find something along the way that is just as good if not better. You will be surprised how easy it is and how much money you can save by not going to your favorite restaurant when you can make it at home. The secret recipes for your favorite restaurant dishes have now been revealed in this best-selling new cookbook. Download now in description below.